In a prior episode, we examined the case of the Tallman hauntings. In that case, Wisconsin residents Alan and Debbie Tallman purchased a bunk bed at a thrift store. After storing the bunk bed for several months, they assembled it and put it in their son's bedroom. Immediately, paranormal activity began happening in the home, and the bunk bed was thought to be the source of the activity. In this episode, we will examine a case with similar characteristics, one in which a bed was purchased, and soon thereafter, paranormal activity began. In this episode, we will examine the case that came to be known as Danny's bed. In Savannah, Georgia, around Christmas in 1998, a father named Al Cobb would buy his teenage son Jason a new bed. The bed was an antique bed dating back to the 1800s, and Jason liked his father's gift. To make room for it, in Jason's bedroom, the family rearranged some furniture. As Jason slept in the bed, the first few nights, strange activity would begin. Jason would tell his parents he felt something else was in the bed. He couldn't see it, but he could feel an invisible presence in the bed with him. Even more creepy, Jason said as he was sleeping, he felt a cold breath on his neck. Jason recalled waking up in the middle of the night half asleep and bumping into something. Still, Jason's parents were skeptical. Jason would have a frightening experience with a picture frame those first few days as well. Jason would find a picture frame with his deceased grandparents hanging upside down. Jason stood it upright, but the next day, it was facing down once again. Jason would discuss the matter with his parents, and once again stand the picture frame up correctly. The following day, Jason would leave his room, and when he returned, the picture frame was in the middle of his bed. There were also other things from his bedroom placed on his bed as well. Toys that Jason had outgrown years ago were removed from storage and somehow placed on the bed. At this point, Jason's parents knew paranormal activity was occurring, and Jason was not imagining it. Al went into the bedroom and asked out loud if a ghost was there. He got no response, but out loud said he was going to leave crayons and paper if there was indeed a presence. The family waited outside the room with the door shut, and when they came back in, they saw something truly bone-chilling. A sheet of paper that they had left had the writing of Danny 7 on it. This was the beginning of a period of strange activity where the family would communicate with the entity. The spirit said that its name was Danny and that the bed used to belong to his mother. According to Danny, his mother died in 1890. It wrote to the Cobb family that no one should sleep in his mother's bed. Jason would agree and move into his twin brother Lee's bedroom at the time. At this point, the spirit would occasionally write notes to the family. Its behavior appeared to be mostly benevolent, although it started a few small fights within the family. For the most part, the spirit was harmless. The spirit would fill and play tic-tac-toe with the family. Then, one day, it would finally manifest. Jason went into his parents' bedroom and saw Danny writing with crayons. Jason would run downstairs and tell his father. However, when he got up to the room, his father would only find a coloring book signed by Danny. Up until this point, Danny was seemingly harmless, and the family had become somewhat accustomed to it. That would all change though. Jason, being a rebellious teenager, decided to sleep in the bed one night. As he lay down in it, he said, "Danny, this is my bed now." Danny became enraged. As Jason rolled over while he was sleeping in Danny's bed, he suddenly noticed a statue head had levitated off the shelf. It then propelled itself and flung right at Jason's head. Luckily, Jason ducked, but it narrowly missed him. Jason jumped out of bed and ran and got his parents. They all went back to Jason's room, and when they entered, the room was destroyed by Danny. Curtains were torn, and the lamps were knocked over. After this, the child ghost began wrecking the house. The family had had enough, and the bed was taken to an auction house at this point. Interestingly, a couple, knowing it was haunted, would still buy it at the auction house. Word had gotten out about the bed, and the woman in the couple really wanted it. That wouldn't last though. Danny seemingly began to torment them too. Their home alarm would go off several times a day, and other strange paranormal activity occurred. According to SavannahTours.com, the bed was purchased by a mother and daughter next. They decided to store it in a room in their garage. They never lay on the bed, and allegedly, the room feels cold and damp compared to other areas of the home. It appears for the time being, Danny has finally found a home. As the events unfolded at the Cobb house, according to Al Cobb, renowned parapsychologist Dr. William Roll and Dr. Andrew Nichols declared the home haunted by intelligent poltergeists, RSK. But was this really the case? Was this a poltergeist haunting or a haunted object? In our opinion, this case has to do with a haunted object and a spirit that has attached to it. Accordingly, the boy also died in the bed in 1899, so it's reasonable to assume he may have suffered as well. Poltergeists haunt a specific person, not a location or object. At the time it was being investigated, it's easy to understand why they believed it was a poltergeist. The entity was creating problems in the home, yet had only manifested on one occasion. However, it's clear once the bed left, paranormal activity in the home stopped. It continued wherever the bed went, and we can expect this will continue into the foreseeable future. One interesting question from this case is around haunted objects. How many haunted locations or homes are the results of haunted objects being picked up? It's surely not clear, but there are many alleged haunted objects in existence today, and even people who collect them. Like the Tallman haunting, the bed was the source of the paranormal activity. This is most likely due to pain and suffering experienced in the bed. In the historic city of Savannah, Georgia, with many ghost stories, this is one that surely sticks out.